Joe Burrow looks good. Joe Mixon looks good. Jamar Chase looks good. T. Higgins look good. Like, come on, Tyler Boyd, man, that catch by Tyler Boyd had Tyler Boyd had today called back. Like the team looks good, man. The defense looking good. You got Hickerson out here. The Bengals could win a Super Bowl this year.
So, Thomas, you know who has been playing up to their offensive capabilities lately?
Joe Mixon.
That's right. Joe Mixon. Not just Joe Mixon, but the whole ass Cincinnati Bengals team. This game, Thomas, oh my God, I have been waiting for a game like this for my whole life. Like, you don't understand. This is actually the second biggest win the Bengals have ever had over the Pittsburgh Steelers in the entire history of the Bengals and Steelers. I believe there was one other game they won 41-10, but there's only been one game that they've ever won by a bigger win, and that was when they won 42-7 back in like the 1988 season. And that one was in November too. But it's just you don't see this kind of domination of the Pittsburgh Steelers by the Cincinnati Bengals anymore. It hasn't happened in so long that I honestly I went into this game. I was talking on the podcast. I was talking on my YouTube channel. I was talking on on my articles and stuff like that. Every single time I was like, the Cincinnati Bengals are a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Bengals should beat them. There's no reason the Bengals shouldn't beat them. And despite me saying all that, I was walking up to the stadium on Sunday, and I was nervous. I was like, oh man, it's the Steelers. More often in my life when we're playing the Steelers, it's just kind of not gone so well for the Bengals. So I'm all nervous. I'm walking up to the stadium, and I've got my heart racing, and I'm not feeling so good. I'm feeling all right because I think that we probably should win this game, but there's just kind of that thing in the back of my mind that's telling me as a Bengals fan that, it doesn't always work out the way you think it's going to work out against the Steelers. But my God, it still didn't. It still did not work out the way I thought it was going to work out because I thought that this was going to be a good game. It was a terrible game unless you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan. If you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, you watch this game, or like for you, Thomas, if you hate the Pittsburgh
watched it.
Steelers,
I enjoyed it.
Right. If you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, then you like this game. Because it was, but for a neutral party, this would have been a horrible game to watch because it was just the Bengals just pooping all over the Steelers over and over and over and over again. It was just fan-fucking-tastic, I tell you what. And what a game!
I'm like I had to say I got no. Actually, no. I got like all right. So I kind of like while I was watching the game, when I was watching I was sitting there watching the Bengals Steelers game, waiting for the Browns to come on, and I was like, the Browns about to lose today. I don't know why. I was just watching that, and I was watching the standings, and I was like, the Browns gonna lose today. Like the Bengals can't blow out the Steelers, and the Browns can't beat the Ravens. We can't have that. God's not gonna give that to me. God's not gonna give that to me. God's not gonna give it to me. God, I like the Cavs won yesterday. Yeah, God's not gonna give me this one. God's not gonna shine on Cleveland that much.
That's why I was a little. That's part of why I was a little nervous because I was like, oh crap. It looks like Michigan destroyed Ohio State. There's no way God's going to be this nice to me to also let us blow out the field.
I'm about to be real with you. By the way, Ohio State fans, they were so cocky, man. Oh my God. I was laughing. So hard. I was trying not to get fired at work because I was laughing at all the Ohio State fans because they were so salty. I was just like, why is this so funny though? I was laughing, I was listening to the game on the radio. I was smiling. I was like, this is great. And I try not to be publicly I try not to show my hatred for Ohio State publicly because like all my friends and family for some reason are hypnotized by Ohio State, and none of them actually went to Ohio State. Like I have no friends who went to Ohio State. All the people I know who went to Ohio State, I unfriended them. You wanna know you know why I unfriended all my friends who went to Ohio State, Cal? You know why? Because they all suck. Every single one of y'all. Arrogant ass bastards. Take that.
Yeah.
But going back to the Bengals Steelers game. Back to topic.
Back to the topic, but also to kind of piggyback off of what you said just now. Like, I don't want to sit here and say that like I feel the same way about Ohio State fans I do about Pittsburgh Steelers fans, because a lot of I care more about the NFL than I do about college football. And at the end of the day, there are a lot of Bengals fans out there who are Ohio State fans. So on some level, I don't hate Ohio State so much that I can't at least enjoy some Bengals fans being happy. But at the same time, God, I just grew up with so many crappy Ohio State fans that, and they've just been so cocky since they've been beating Michigan over and over and over since Jim Harbaugh's been there. And Michigan didn't just beat them, but they beat them down. Not as bad as the Bengals beat the Steelers, but they still went in. They still went in there and they crushed them, and it was impressive. And on top of that, it gives UC a really good chance of making.
I was just about to say that. I was like, you talk about the Battle of Ohio. We're on the Battle of Ohio podcast, right? The Battle of Ohio. We got a real Battle of Ohio. Ohio State's having the best football team in Ohio right now.
Now, to be clear, as anybody who watches this podcast knows, maybe not so much lately because StreamYard condenses my feed down a little bit, but y'all used to be able to see on Zoom, but I am a University of Kentucky fan, not a University of Cincinnati fan. However, UC is the hometown team, and I'm always going to be happy when they do well. And Ohio State is not the hometown team. I was briefly a Columbus Crew fan because that was the only Major League Soccer team that we had around here. But then FC Cincinnati happened, and I was just like, "See you later, Crew." And then that turned out to be a terrible decision because FC Cincinnati is awful. But the Bengals aren't awful. Bringing it back around because the Bengals are right back. The thing that this game proved to me is that when we went out there and we got off to like that 5-2 start and we capped it off by like just an absolute beatdown of the Baltimore Ravens. And then after that, we stumbled a little bit. We lost to the Jets. We got blown out by the Browns. But it proved to me that 5-2 start was not a fluke. It proved to me winning the game this way, beating the Raiders, coming off the bye and beating the Raiders, that proved that this team is for real. It didn't prove that this team is as dominant as I thought maybe they were when they were 5-2, but it did prove to me that, hey, this Bengals team is real. This Bengals team could really make some noise, and regardless of what happens this season, this Bengals team is going in the right direction. So either this year or next year, it's going to be really good. But then we come out and we just absolutely demolish the Pittsburgh Steelers like that. When the Steelers are in must-win mode, man,
it's funny what a bye can do. It's funny what a bye can do for a team, right?
Well, it's funny what a bye can do for this team because, like I've said this before on the podcast, but back when Marvin Lewis was the head coach, a bye was like basically doom. Like all the Bengals players would like get lethargic. They wouldn't do anything over the bye week, and they'd come back after the bye week. They'd all be out of shape or not ready to play the game or whatever. So, like under Marvin Lewis, we had like a 275 or something awful winning percentage after the bye week. But it seems like Zach Taylor's got these guys' mindsets right. And since the bye week, the Cincinnati Bengals have looked like maybe the best team in the NFL. Now I'm only talking about through the last two games. Obviously, over the whole season, you have to take a lot of things into account. But in my power rankings that I am still working on, by the way, because the holiday season at FedEx is just a nightmare. But in my power rankings, I do have the order finished now, and the Bengals are almost in the top 5 now. Because,
they should be. They're gonna win the division.
I mean,
I think it's a no-brainer right now.
If the season were to end right now, the Baltimore Ravens would be winning the division. However, that's not how things work. You have to play a whole 17 games. So if the Bengals are actually in control of the division right now, believe it or not, because if the Bengals were to win all of the rest of their games and then and like all the Bengals have to do is just win out, and they win the division. Now, not because right now the Bengals are in control of the AFC. Well, actually, they kind of are in control of the AFC North playoff crown. They just, technically aren't right now, according to the standings, because technically right now, the Baltimore Ravens are a game ahead of them. Or is it a half game? I think it's a half game. The Ravens are a half game ahead of them. Or are they a full game? Let's see. They're 8-3. We're 7. So, yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are a half game ahead of the Cincinnati. Not a half game, full game. The Baltimore Ravens are a full game ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals. But the Bengals play the Ravens once more this year. So if the Bengals win out, they'll get that win over the Ravens. That'll knock the Ravens down to the Bengals record, and Bengals will have the head-to-head tiebreaker over them. So the Bengals essentially control their own destiny completely when it comes to the only thing they don't control is they'd have to get some help to get the number 1 seed. So if they do beat the Ravens, I think the Ravens right now control the number 1 seed, but if they beat the Ravens, then they won't take over the number 1 seed because I think probably the Patriots would go get it, or maybe the Titans.
The Ravens are collapsing, and I say that as we lost them because we're collapsing too. But the Ravens are collapsing. Lamar looks bad. Lamar looks bad for the last month and a half, and he's healthy. This man is healthy. Like these are problems that Lamar has had. Lamar looks bad. Who's going to say it? I'm going to say it. I don't want to say it because I got stats to prove it. You know why I can say that with confidence? Because all the people that's yelling to me that my quarterback looks bad, Lamar looks worse. Lamar looks way worse.
Lamar does look pretty bad, but I will address that a little bit more in the state of the AFC North, which we'll do a little bit later in the show.
Why do I feel like I'm a crazy man saying this? Kyle, you're the only one who believes me. You're the only one who believes. I feel like I'm yelling, the end is coming, and you're like, yeah, it probably is.
He won MVP that one time, and nobody wants to actually look at that critically. But if you actually sit there and look at it critically, you would realize that the Ravens have been we'll get into this in the state of the AFC North later, but
we'll say it for the same video. Can I say something about the Bengals? I want to be positive because, first of all, ladies and gentlemen.
Last thing about the Bengals, then we're moving on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cincinnati Bengals are going to win the AFC North.
I think at this rate they will.
That's why I was saying that. That's why I was saying that with Lamar, and I'll get to Lamar because I got a whole rant about that man. But the Bengals are going to win the AFC North. I think the Browns still got a chance to split it with the Ravens. That's going to be. I don't think the Ravens are going to be. I don't think the Ravens are going to win many games coming down the stretch. The Steelers are dead. Go ahead, do your funerals, Pittsburgh. Go ahead, wear all your black and gold at the funeral. You're dead, Pittsburgh. It's the Bengals. The Bengals have this division, and like I said, it's crazy what a bye could do. And Kyle, you did to me with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Well, let me take my victory lap on this one about the Bengals because I've been preaching hey, that bye is going to do wonders for that team. I think that they're going to come out the bye hot because they got the Raiders and the Steelers. I thought they were going to beat both of them teams pretty handily, and they did. And that was just a blessing for them because you get two teams that are in disarray or that are slumping, that are good, but are slumping. And you have a chance to take advantage of two slumping teams. And the Bengals did that. The Bengals look organized. Zach Taylor looked like he finally had the team to buy into his system, and the team is buying into the system very well in year 3. This is year 3, right, for him? Year 3?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so yeah, year 3, and a lot. And this is one thing. This is one of the positive things about the Bengals organization is that they allow coaches. They gave Zach Taylor something that a lot of coaches do not get. They gave him time. A lot of coaches don't get the time that Zach Taylor got. Coming from the Browns fan, I can tell you, coaches get canned in a year. You have one bad season, you're out of here. It's really hard. It's really hard to be good quickly in NFL. They allowed Zach Taylor to set a system. They believed in that Zach Taylor. They didn't do any kind of crazy bad press. The Bengals organization did a good job of rallying behind Zach Taylor. Now Zach Taylor, people are buying into Zach Taylor's system. Joe Burrow looks good. Joe Mixon looks good. Jamar Chase looks good. T. Higgins look good. Like, come on, Tyler Boyd, man, that catch by Tyler Boyd had Tyler Boyd had that called back. Like the team was good, man. The defense looking good. You got Hickerson out here. The Bengals could win a Super Bowl this year. Nah, I think the Patriots got it. I think the Patriots got the AFC this year. But the Bengals could be right up there though. This Bengals team's legit, and they're going to win their first playoff game this year. I can't you can't help but be excited about this Bengals team. You can't help but be excited about this Bengals team. And all I gotta say is congratulations, Kyle.